Hey, this is Matt. Once again, what about 10 videos? Another paid request, this time from the movie reviewer next door. It's for a 2021 film called Kate. It stars Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Woody Harrelson. The guy who directed it only had done one film called The Huntsman. That was the sequel that had Chris Hemsworth. And I was the first one called Snow White and the Huntsman. This was called The Huntsman something something. Never bothered to see it because it didn't look that good to me. And I guess this is the only other film this guy's done. And I never heard of this film before. I kind of get why after watching it, but I didn't think it was a bad movie. It was a alright, decent time waster. But at the same time, I don't think I would ever watch it again. The plot is very generic. Mary Elizabeth Winstead, which she's an actress that could take her leave. I didn't mind her as John McClane's daughter in Live Free or Die Hard. She was in the Thing 2011 film, which I hated that movie. She was in Birds of Prey, which I did not like that movie. She, like I said, plays an assassin who's been raised since she was a kid. Her handler is played by Woody Harrelson. It goes through a lot of the similar tropes, the familiar tropes. There's a mission, a job. She's supposed to snipe someone, but there's a daughter there. She doesn't want to do it, but she does anyway and kills the dad. The little girl is sad that her dad died, of course. As 10 months later, Mary wants to retire. Woody doesn't want her to retire, but she's adamant about wanting to retire to live a normal life. One day she goes out to have drinks with someone, has sex with them, does another job, supposed to be one of the final jobs, but she's tired, she's fatigued, she's out of it. She tries to chase after the mark, gets to a really bad looking CGI car crash, really bad looking. She wakes up, she's in the hospital, she's told that she has 1 day left to live because she's been poisoned. So then the film is her trying to find out who poisoned her, why she's been poisoned, as well as that girl at the beginning who Mary killed her father. At first, she's going to kidnap this girl to try to get the person to come out and find out what's going on. But you find out that girl's life's in trouble because the yakuza who's with her family, they want her dead. So then it becomes Mary protecting this girl from the bad guys in Tokyo, as well as they're trying to find out who poisoned her and why it happened. So it follows a lot of the similar familiar tropes and beats to it. It's almost as if it wants to be Crank meets John Wick, but both I find much more entertaining than this. I think it depends on how you feel about Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Again, she's an actress. I could take her leave. I've seen much better. I've seen much worse. I thought she did fine in the role. I didn't really find much reason to care about her character because we don't really know anything about her. We know that she likes this certain drink. Kind of like how I feel about Bella Yellow. And she didn't really have much of a life, and she looks at Woody Harrelson as a father figure. That's really all we know. I mean, even John Wick, we knew he was married to this lady and left the business because of this lady, and she died, and he felt bad, and is out of it. And then there's his dog, who's a gift of from his wife, and it dies. So you have much more of a, I could get behind him, I get his anger, I get his rationale more. Even Bob Odenkirk and Nobody. And this film is definitely right on the coattails of John Wick. Now, granted, please be my guest, because much better than that 10 years of shitty, shaky cam is The Bourne Identity and other movies. I got tired of the shaky cam shit. So, hey, might not be a great movie, might not be a film I'll watch again, but it was at least a time waster because when the action scenes happen, they were fun enough to watch. There's a bit in, I forget what the area is called, where, if you've seen The Punisher with Dolph Lundgren at the end, with all the paper walls, and Dolph even stabs through one to kill a guy. that area, and she's trying to find answers, and she gets in a knife fight with a bunch of people, stabs the shit out of them, cutting their throats, jamming them into the throats, slicing them. A guy grabs her, she cuts the guy's fingers off. Granted, it was hard for me to kind of buy Mary because she's such a slim, kind of frail looking lady. Then she can throw all these guys around. But I liked the choreography during the scene. I think the film, I like the way it's shot. I think they did a nice job utilizing Tokyo and the neon lights. So I like the look of the film. The little girl Annie, or Yoti, Annie. I don't know if I could say I liked her. I get her attitude, but at the same time, it's like, okay, I get it. You think it's your kidnapper at first. So she's saying like, "Fuck you, cancer bitch." But like, kind of her hyperactive style, where there's like, "Wow, that's so cool what you're doing," and I don't know. I'm kind of in between how I feel about that character, to be perfectly honest. The action scenes, there's a bit where when this meeting goes wrong, she's being chased after by the bad guys, and she does a bit of a John Wick with her shooting. Pa, 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 pa. I mean, it's fun to see that. Granted, by this point, I've seen it multiple times now. So it loses a little bit of its cool factor, but it's still cool, just not as cool as the three John Wick films or Nobody or other stuff. Day Shift with Jamie Foxx is another example of that. Extraction 2. There's a lot of movies I would put above this. So again, she saves the girl. They bond a bit. Annie finds out more what's going on. Okay, you're poisoned, you're dying. This group that I'm with is trying to kill me. I don't know why that's happening. I want revenge as well. She doesn't know that Mary killed her dad 10 months ago. Of course, you know that's eventually going to come back to bite Mary in the ass. But by then they're bonding. They go to this guy's place to try to get some information. You did a kitchen fight. Nicely choreographed kitchen fight. The guy and Mary going back and forth, and she's using stuff from the coffee to hit him in the throat, and takes these glasses to break them and stabbing the guy, and then not a bad scene at all. Spoiler alert, although it's not much of a spoiler, you find out that lo and behold, Woody Harrelson is the bad guy. Who could have guessed that? That the handler, played by a very famous, actor, just happens to be who didn't want her to quit the business. Lo and behold, he's a villain. I know, big surprise. He's working with the bad guys. And the girl finds out and gets pissed and tries to shoot Mary, hits her in the face. Although quickly after kind of does a 180 on it. Because she leaves with Woody Harrelson. The girl's uncle is like the only one that wants her alive, so him and Mary Elizabeth Winstead's character have a sort of mutual bond where we've both been fucked over by people, and tonight we believe in honor, and so that guy gets his guys to help her storm the castle, so to speak. You have a little bit of gunplay, a little bit of slow motion. Like I said, it will feel familiar if you've seen any of the John Wick films, or again, Nobody, or Day Ship, or Atomic Blonde, or many other movies. So it's nothing that's going to really wow you. But it's one of those where, it's alright. Kind of that reaction, it's okay. It's just, there's really nothing like Bullet Train, when you see Bullet Train, you see, oh, this is actually pretty funny, it's pretty clever, it's pretty witty, these very quirky characters. Or Day Shift, it's just like the Snoop Dogg is a vampire hunter, and you got, the whole bit with Scott Adkins and his character's brother, and how they were just vampire hunters, and does all vampirism uh, plot unto itself with this type of action. There's really nothing in here that differentiates itself among many other movies. So again, it's going to depend on how much you're dying for John Wick type of action, and how much you like Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Like I said, I thought she did fine, but like I said, there's not really much to her character, background, quirks. Like I said, the only quirk is there's a certain drink she likes, and she keeps finding it empty until the one guy she does this bet has one. She's able to drink one before her the final countdown. And spoilers. Again, yeah, the storm in the castle bit. There's a bit where she's getting into the room, slow motion, gets wounded in the leg, shoots one in the head, shoots the other. Nice bit where she gets under the guy's chin and it comes out the back of the guy's head. Nice violent moment. Standoff with Woody. They shoot each other. Annie grabs her. Now she tears for Mary, which I'm like, well, you just found out this girl killed your dad. I know you bonded for a day. Like a day. It's only been a day that you bonded. But again, it's like, it'd still be fresh that this lady killed your dad. So it was still hard for me to buy that this girl would be so crying. So I just, because you shot her in the face, like you were fine with shooting her in the face, 15 minutes ago. Well, you tried to kill her and I think it hit her face, although it didn't affect her speech. Actually, I don't know where it hit her. Maybe it just grazed her. Maybe it just grazed Mary's face. Because it was established that she's a shitty shot. Because there's a bit where, in the kitchen fight, the girl's getting the gun, shoots, and accidentally hits Mary, and not the guy. And the guy's walking towards, is like, I'm like, come on, you fucking stupid idiot. And then Mary gets the guy again, and then the girl finally hits the guy in the back of the head, but still is that annoyance. You fucking moron, you fucking stupid little bitch. So like I said, it's predictable. Like I said, the girl's gonna find out that Mary killed her dad, and she's gonna be pissed. You know that Woody, I think most people figure out Woody's gonna be a bad guy. There's something gonna be more to that. It was either A, he was going to be taken hostage, or B, he's with the bad guys. And he's with the bad guys. So like I said, there's a couple of decent action sequences. The cinematography-wise, nice showcase of Tokyo. It's only 90-some minutes long. So, like I said, it was a decent time waster. The acting was fine. Like I said, Mary, I could take her or leave her. I've seen much better. I've seen much worse. It was fine. It was a fine enough movie. Like I said, if you're dying for some John Wick type of action, it's not going to blow you away. But I think it was on Netflix. I don't have Netflix, so I found another way to watch it. It's a rainy day. You give it one shot, and you can find a lot worse items there. Items of movies to. There's a lot worse movies that will rot in your brain. This, sadly, kind of average. I think the average meh is the right word to use. It was alright. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.